Do I have a second? Has been motion and second. All in favor to approve the minutes, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Moving along swiftly, we have a lot on the agenda tonight. 857 East Boone Street. Jason Passmore and Brian Lambert. Are they here today? Okay. Looks like replacement of a garage door, remove existing roof on the porch, and repair the bad decking if needed. Install a new insulation of pipe posts for the new rails. And of course, complete all flashings and details. Anything else that you guys can think of? Nope. Looks like it's going to be an improvement.
Jason, is the color going to stay the same? I know I spoke with Cindy, and she has kind of a vision, like a 3 or 5 year plan for the house.
As far as what color we were, the handrail itself?
No, the color of the garage door. Is it going to stay the color of the vinyl siding? Because she had talked about changing the vinyl siding.
At this time, I believe that the door is just a standard white, and they're going to paint the color
Okay.
to go with that.
Okay.
So that's all I know at this time.
Okay.
If you get a COA today, you'll just have to, when you repaint the garage door, you'll have to come before us again just to give us a sample of what the color is going to be.
Okay.
I have a question. This part right here, are you replacing the railing?
Yes, that is my part of the project. Brian's going to be doing all the roof, the flashing, and that part of it, and then I'm going to be doing all the woodwork, rails.
Is it going to be similar to what it is?
Exactly what you see is what I'm going to put back. It's going to be a brand new version, I would say. I mean, all new cedar, everything to stay the same.
So it's going to be wood then?
Yeah, all the rails are wood now, and they're going to go back wood.
Will you paint them? It looks like white, but it could be an off-white. Are you going to paint them or leave them wood?
I would tell you that's at the discretion of the homeowner. At this time, all I'm doing is putting up the wood. At this late in the season, I'm not doing anything to paint.
Paint it? Okay,
Yes.
because I assume if once it gets heated, it's going to get really through because of the door.
Well, it's in the back of the house, isn't it?
It's on the
It's on the
side.
side.
It's on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just package it together and do it all at the
I
same
mean,
time.
I would tell you it's going to get painted at some point in time. It's not a thing that I discussed because I'm doing it all in cedar anyway. So I presume that they're going to paint at some point. We haven't got to that point yet this year. So
his packet, this whole group here. 809 East Boone Street. Looks like a new garage. Accessible from the alley. Is Martha here?
Oh, hello, Martha. Hi.
Okay, looks like your old garage is not sufficient to do the work anymore, so you're gonna build a new one.
Right, the foundation is extremely deteriorated and can't be repaired. So I'm wanting to put up a full barn garage accessible. And also the garage that's there is not large enough. It was built a long time ago for smaller cars, and it was like, my car's like, I tried parking it in there and I hit the mirror, so it's like, it's just not set the poles for the pole barn, but, I don't know whether that's feasible for town. And
No,
I
as
just
long as he
didn't know.
gets, and that's something that, here again, that Don and his office there can help him with. As long as he gets down below and he's the frost level, you can do it. The only thing that you gotta be concerned about in this case is the frost in the ground for your concrete, for your floor. That's frozen, you know, off the concrete. So, there's a little bit of, and they can help you with that. They can guide you through what the state rules are. But I'll be honest with you, I just have an issue with the siding. I really do.
I have an issue too. How many, I guess, for myself, I wish, this had been more of like a color and like an inspiration of like a garage you have seen, like an actual garage versus just a sketch. It's hard for me to visualize what this would look like in the neighborhood. Did you get multiple contractors to confirm that the garage is not, it will be safe? Because I lived in a house that was completely moved and a whole new foundation was put underneath. So I'm just wondering if you found someone who could, expand the garage door and fix the foundation versus a whole new one.
I did talk to a Hispanic guy, and he said, the one guy, and then I talked to another guy that does building, and he looked at the foundation. The Hispanic guy said, yeah, I can fix that foundation. And then someone else, Roy Woodruff, which does a lot of building and stuff, told me that foundation can't be fixed. It is crumbling, it can't be fixed. So, the Hispanic guy that gave me the quote for the building a garage, was $38,000, building a wooden garage.
Don, have you had an opportunity, you or your staff, see the foundation? Are you aware of any of it?
Well, Dan I think Dan's been out there, and Dan go off and look. I think Danny Howell, inspector.
There was a building inspector that came out.
Danny went out, but I can't tell you what.
My fear is just that it's not representative of the neighborhood. It's gonna be completely different.
Well, that's the whole impetus behind this board, is to try to maintain the historical illusion. We can't go back and build it like it was, 100 years ago. But I do think that we need to keep in mind, being in a historical district, that as we remodel, we got to keep certain.
I couldn't build, right where the garage is now. I would have to be at least 7 feet to build a new garage.
Yeah, the location I don't think is,
7 feet away from the property line. So,
Why 7?
well, that's what the guy out there that did the.
Don, can you tell us what the side? These
5 off the side and 3 off the back.
Mr. Beery told me that any existing building that I did had to be at least 7 feet from the property line.
I think he might be mistaken.
It's 5 and 3.
No.
But I think that if you look in your standards there, that if she's building something new, it doesn't have to be a historic.
no, it can be, it just has to be appropriate for the neighborhood. Yeah, you're right. It says you cannot recreate, and I think that's what Bud said is, you cannot go back in time and recreate exactly the same way. It has to be its own building, its own entity. I think a couple of folks on the board, myself included, are a little concerned that I think that there's other materials that are going to be about the same price as long as Menards or the builder knew, that it's maybe steel siding is not going to be 100% appropriate. I like the color of the roof that matches the house. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with being a new building at all. Just myself, I think there's some options that could be explored that's gonna keep you still in that $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 range that, I think would be easier to be approved by the board.
So if I demolish the garage, get that demolished, and then maybe, I don't know whether there's enough time now to find someone to build a garage and maybe set it back further on the property than the existing garage now, but then over.
Yeah, your location.
Maybe I misunderstand something. I thought you already had someone basically lined up to build this for you.
Yeah, I did the pole building, but you're saying the pole building, that's.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with the
Nothing
pole
wrong with the pole
building.
building, just,
There's nothing wrong with that type of construction.
Mhm.
I mean, I can show you a house in a nice neighborhood that is a pole house.
Mhm.
Sorry, my granddaughter's telling me.
yeah, I just, my personal concern is the exterior look.
Yeah, it's the siding that's posing, we feel to be the issue, not the structure, not what you're proposing to do, it's the siding. Like I said before, pole barns, poles with metal siding is more adapted or suited for rural section or settings as opposed to urban.
No, I still.
In a historic district.
But is there, doesn't Menards have garage packages and some of the, lumber yards have garage packages?
Well, I would assume that they probably, if not, they can put one together for you. To me, that's not the issue here. I mean, as far as what she wants to build, she can build it out of pole barn style, or she can build out of brick, or she can build whatever she wants. It's the siding.
It's pro-rib steel panels is
Yeah.
what.
Comes about 32 inches to the weather, and it's nothing, you gotta nail it on there and so forth. It's, I'm sorry, my personal opinion is suited more for a farm
A
application.
traditional garage?
But there's I'm telling you, there are other things that are available to you, and I would like for you to at least look at other things as opposed, and to be honest with you, steel siding is not cheap. But, you could be looking at perhaps vinyl siding. You could be looking at perhaps, there's lap siding made by Louisiana Pacific. It's kind of like a cement board. It's a little more expensive, but it gives you the look at what it was when this house was built, the lap siding and so forth. So you can have that look. I think in my opinion, if this was built, you'd have a garage, you'd have a place to put your car, but I think it would take away from your value of your home and then the homes of your neighbors.
So,
Martha, do you have the foundation? Is it the entire foundation that's crumbling, or is it one wall?
well, the back part, someone had placed blocks, but the whole side, and I don't know, there's some kind of stuff that they put around the side and the front. And the side's coming away, but it's still crumbling under it. Someone tried to repair it,
Okay,
and then inside, it's greatly crumbling
okay.
away.
All the way around?
Not all the way around, but on both sides and the front.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just, and the flooring is like got cracks and there's water that comes in there. It was like, that's why, I was requesting to have it demolished and maybe put, some kind of garage up that, but I didn't know about the pole barn garage, but.
Like I said, the pole barn application is not the issue, in my opinion. It's not the
It's
issue.
just the siding of it.
It's the siding, how it's going to look. I mean, you can take a pole structure. Like I said, this doctor who had his home built is a pole structure. And it's out on Forest Drive. And looking at it, you can't tell the difference, but it's a little different. But you could build a garage pole type structure, and then you just have to apply a different
Like,
siding to it.
what
That's all.
about the roof?
The roof's fine.
Still,
The only question that I have, and I can't speak for the rest of the board, is the siding.
the siding.
Yes.
But in your experience, do you think that the foundation, like the garage looks wide enough, if she had a larger opening so she could get her car, and that's not like the issue, do you think the concrete is not repair, like from looking at, you don't think it's worth even having her looked at everything fixed underneath it?
Haven't seen it.
I'd have to have a whole new floor put in it because the floor's just,
I understand that, I'm just saying for myself, I'd be more comfortable
If
with like looking at the idea of expanding that door and fixing the foundation.
you're anticipating a cost of $38,000, I want to see the floor.
the what?
If you're anticipating a cost of approximately $38,000 for this garage,
No,
She's trying
no,
not to spend that.
this is with some, and it's
I'm just
very-
saying that's what they told you.
Yeah,
They gave you an estimate. I'm just saying,
Oh, to
if that's what's
repair this
coming in,
garage?
I'd say I want a brand new garage. period.
yeah, he said he could leave one wall standing and repair that foundation, then someone else had told me, a couple other guys said, no, that foundation can't be fixed, it's deteriorated.
Mhm.
Well, that was my question, if there was any part that could be maintained and you could expand the garage then and
Right.
just widen the garage on 3 sides.
I'd have to leave the existing wall on
Well, I mean,
the,
it looks like the garage is plain white, it's the issue of just being a,
on the west side, I'd have to leave that wall. Or either that, or if they took that wall down, I'd have to move it,
Yeah.
5 feet away from the property line.
5 feet on the side, 3 foot on the rear.
It sounds like
But
Dan's.
I don't have the room to move it.
No, I'm just saying, but if you want to keep your existing right now, if it is even within a foot of your property line, you can do that as long as you do not move it one way or the other. It has to be exactly where it was grandfathered in, basically. You see what I'm saying?
And I have to go for a variance.
No, that'd be up to him. If you don't move it and you're utilizing the existing foundation, you can do it on that one side. And you can go from there, and again, this is where you really need to rely on your contractor, and you can rely on these guys here to give you some good guidance. And they can help you. I know you sometimes feel like you're in a lone wolf here, you don't have to be. They can give you some guidance. But right now, the pole structure doesn't bother, in my personal opinion, I can't speak for the rest of them, does not bother me one bit.
It sounds like Dan's on the other line that we can ask him about that foundation. Hey, Dan, can you hear us?
Dan, you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. We just had a question on the 809 East Boone Street. When you went in to look at the foundation, is that beyond repair, you think?
It's extremely deteriorated. It would be my recommendation that this building be demoed and started over. There's a question about property line. She's not really sure where her property line is. So the building could be set exactly on her property line. There may not be a setback at all. So, but as far as the overall condition of that foundation and the floor, it's extremely deteriorated.
Okay. That was really our big question. Thank you, sir. Okay. Well, is there any more comment?
No.
Okay. I'll just bring this up. Do I have a motion to approve as presented? No, we do not. I think the next big step would be to keep in contact with Dan and Dawn. Ask your contractor about maybe a different siding, and it may not increase your cost much at all. And then when that's ready, if he says, okay, I have this slam bang that's going to be really, do the job, just let the office know, and then you can come back before us, and we can even have a special meeting, or we can meet online and talk about it since you've been here. So we'll I talked to your contractor and see if there's something a little bit different that he could put on that to give it a little bit more historic character.
In order for them to build that back there, I would have to have that garage demolished Cause they would have to come in from the back. I have existing driveway where they couldn't use heavy equipment. So I would have to have the garage demolished before I could rebuild something else.
Sure.
So do you agree to demolish?
That,
I'm like a nay for now.
I'd like to wait.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, if we can consider that as an option, and, I mean, I know, Martha, you wanna move on it and do some work on it, but, you know,
Just wait for a different siding on the garage or see what else I can do.
yeah,
are you asking,
I don't think that does she need permission, need permission or even to
Yeah.
take out the
no, if she
garage?
wants to remove her garage, that's
Yes.
fine, she's just gotta get a
That's
demolition
our
permit.
fault, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Oh, I thought that was
No,
in
no,
the requirement.
if it's a main structure, I think it is HPC.
as far as I'm concerned, if she wants to tear that garage down in preparation, that's fine.
Give me just a second.
And then,
Hold on, we're looking at this, look at the standards. I thought it said.
that's so
anything-
different, you know, I mean, tearing anything down. Just if he gives a permit, Don does, she can tear it down. Now, to rebuild, and how it's rebuilt, that comes under our purview.
Do you know when the garage was built? Was it built when the house was
I
built?
think it was, the house was, I assume the garage was built in 1927 or somewhere along in there.
It's a
That's
style,
when they
it
say
is that
the
style
house
of
was
garage,
built.
yeah, it's been around for a while. Almost like a craftsman house.
But I have to demolish that,
You have to demolish it anyway, period.
you know, before I can consider building another
Yes.
garage. So if I can get it demolished, and then if I get plans to build another garage, come back to you guys?
Well, I would say yes, because we're still debating the exterior look.
Right,
You know, that's the only thing that we really have purview over is the exterior looks.
okay.
You know, how you build it, you can build it out of toothpicks, as long as it structurally sounds and meets the building codes. We don't care. It's that how does it look? Does it fit into the historic ideas or ideals?
This is what it says about demolition of historic buildings. All sizes and styles of historic buildings are important, and the demolition of any building shall be carefully considered because of the potential impact of the city on the city as a whole. Demolition includes removing the entire structure, removing part of the structure, or removing additions to the structure. So it depends on how you want to interpret that as
I'd say,
just the home or everything that goes along with the property.
well, and the other side of it is the garage does have some, architectural elements that are designed on the facade that kind of match the house itself.
But that can be mimicked onto the new construction.
Sure,
But we
Frankly-
don't know what the new construction.
Well, not
looks
yet. Frankly, I'll make a motion that we allow her to demolish the building at this time.
That'd be a separate application though.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know
that's,
what, I'm gonna step in here a minute. There's a gal, I'm not telling you gotta pass her garage, but you guys meet once a month. And that means she's gotta wait to get permission for you to give her permission to demolish the garage another month, and then try to get her building up before the winter comes.
like. And they
And
would-
I think all that needs to be taken under consideration for this lady.
Or
I
should
might
I
be spoken
just
out of line here, but
wait till next summer and go for it?
Like I said, in my motion, I have no problem with demolishing the structure. Then it's up to her to handle how she's gonna store things in the process of a new building. The only thing that I am questioning right now is the siding of the proposed
Also, I don't
structure.
know if we have to wait on, because it does say demolition of present garage, so I think we could vote on that part of it, since that is
okay.
listed.
My motion still stands.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second to approve the demolition of the garage pending on the, as its own separate part? And then kind of holding aside the approval of the garage until we get a different siding.
Martha, you're okay with that?
I would second that. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
2-2.
The motion doesn't carry.
Yeah, motion does not carry. We will have to meet sooner rather than later for this particular case, as soon as she has an alternative for the siding.
For the siding.
Mhm.
Okay,
Because that was the main concern.
okay.
Okay,
Work hard with Don and his office. They'll help you out.
Okay.
okay. Moving along swiftly. 604 East South Street, Barney Jenkins. Looks like he's doing some painting. Going with a classic French gray.
Is he here?
Yeah, Barney's here. He's right in the back.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Did you have your swatch with you, Barney? The sample of the color?
No, I got what you read now. I got the slide at home, but didn't think you need that to know what this is.
It's gonna be that.
Yeah, it's your
Oh.
color, it's your color.
Okay, good.
I picked out another one, but they said that won't work, so.
This is the historic palette.
Trying to make you happy.
Oh, you don't have to make us happy. It's hard. Alrighty, Barney. And it's just painting the house that
Yep.
color. Okay.
Right now, it's,
Okay.
well, if you said it's cheeky.
All right. That's pretty straightforward. Any questions for Barney? Repainting his house, the classic French gray off of the historic palette. Do I have a motion to accept then if there's no discussion?
Bernadine, are you painting the trim or anything else on the house, or just everything's gonna be French gray?
I don't know.
Are you painting the trim around the house as well, around your windows, or is the whole house going to be French gray?
No, that's not a good color. But when you put white with it, that makes a good color.
So the trim is going to be white.
Okay,
That will offset really nicely. Okay. Any other questions for Barney? Okay, do I have a motion to accept this painting and then the trim being white? I would motion. Do I have a second?
also,
Has been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Can we have a discussion first?
Oh, absolutely. Right. Discussion.
Obviously, there's a couple other things that's going on besides the painting that I think would come under the purview here. I don't have a problem with at all, is the porch demolition and reconfiguration.
So what now?
The
where do you
porch.
see that?
Well, I'm trying to put it back where it looks historic.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. Believe me, and I appreciate that since I live next door. You know, but I just want to make sure that we're aware that he's actually tearing off an enclosed porch and putting in post and changing that look, and including painting. So it's just not necessarily painting. Am I correct? And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I do have. I'll be honest with you, I got a slight concern that we didn't follow protocol and come to us prior to it, but Garney, you know, he's made a living out of doing exactly what he's doing right now.
Oh, so you're saying that this porch is already being demolished or like
Reconfigured.
reconfigured, so it doesn't look like this?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's open. That's what it is. And I don't have a problem. I just want us as a board to be aware that when we go by and we look for, I don't have a problem with the color. I mean, just painting a vinyl siding, which you can do. And then whatever trim, I think it's great. As a homeowner that is greatly affected by what is happening in a house, I think it's perfect.
Mhm.
You know, I just think that the thing is that we as a board need to be aware, and I'm sure Don is too, that there's more work going on there to the exterior. The porch is what we're talking about. I mean, I know he's doing work inside, and that's great too, but we have no jurisdiction there. We
So,
just have-
Mr. Jenkins, is there a plan to submit to the historic committee a request to look at the designs of a new porch, or how are you going to change the front facade of the house with your?
I'm not changing the porch, I'm just taking the outside off and making it an open porch.
He's changing the
I didn't know-
configuration.
Okay,
When I bought the house, I didn't even know it was a historic society.
Yeah, I know. Frankly, I mean, I don't have a problem with what he's doing. I think we did get the cart before the horse a little bit. And I think that as a board, that's something that we need to address at a later time. I just want us to be aware that if you're out walking your dog and you walk by there, you see, there's more than just paint.
You got a better sidewalk to walk, you won't fall through the city. If I didn't put in some new sidewalk.
So, Mr. Jenkins, you've opened this all up then in the front?
Yes.
It's open in front.
Do you
Okay.
have a picture of what it looks like? Is that,
Well, we're here for the paint right
Now,
now.
we took for the paint. I just want you to be aware that there's more to it than what.
so I guess my question is, are you continuing on the porch part before you paint it? Or are you gonna paint it and then continue on the porch, or is the porch just done and it's gonna get painted?
Am I what?
Is the,
Are you gonna finish the porch prior to you painting? Or are you gonna go ahead and paint part of it and not the
We're gonna
porch?
paint it, and we're gonna finish it. We're gonna probably put cedar on the front, the porch.
I think that knowing that, perhaps we should reconsider,
the paint?
and the painting until we can see a plan that you have for the house,
If you wanna
Mr.
see the
Jenkins.
plan, go by 604.
I don't think we have a problem with what he's asking.
The paint color's
Paint.
fine, but it just,
It's not complete, it just
Right.
sounds like if we had known, it's almost like he's withholding information, if we had driven by or lived next door,
I understand. All I'm saying is that as we as a board, as we do take a look at some of our projects that are in progress, doing our due diligence, that to paint the house is fine. You could start today and it would be within these parameters right here. All I'm saying is that the porch has been, like I said, it's not been torn off or anything. It's just been reconfigured,
please
remodeled.
don't put,
Mr. Jenkins, do you have a permit for what you're doing? Have you applied for a permit?
Well, I went to get one today, but they said they couldn't get one until they come here at this meeting.
but not for the porch though, for the painting.
No, I went.
That's a
I went
needle.
for the-
Yeah.
Well, I know, but he's saying he's taking a permit, but you still will not be able to get a permit for the porch until we approve the porch.
Let's move forward on the approval of the paint, and then we'll let Don's office talk to Garney about the porch. It was motioned and seconded. That was the discussion. Any more discussion on the paint portion of this house? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, you got your paint, sir?
Okay.
Okay.
But he's not allowed to do anything else on the porch.
He needs to
Until
discuss
you
that, he
approve.
needs to discuss that with Don.
Yeah, that needs to go through Don's office, and he'll give him everything he needs to know.
Yep.
Okay, moving on swiftly. 556 East South Street, Abraham Garcia. Looks like he's changed some windows and some siding. Is Abraham here?
Yes.
Oh, hello. How you doing, sir? Okay.
So, Mr. Garcia, you significantly changed the size of the windows on the house, it appears. Is that correct or no?
Did you hear the question, sir?
No,
Did you change the size of the windows when you replaced them? Are they basically the same size?
no, I changed it. More small.
I am under the assumption then, and perhaps Don can expand on this. The windows, the size that come into concern over the code would be the bedroom windows. I assume that they meet the regulations there. Other than that, we don't care what size windows he puts in there. Just long as it meets the fire
Egress.
code, egress, so high up off the floor and the width and the height.
But the front we care about. And we,
The facade is usually, the historics, yeah, it does not like changing the sizes of windows on the front of the building, where the visible.
So what are your intentions at the very front of the house? The window up front here that faces the street, are you making it the same size?
And the front is gonna change it. It's the
You're
same.
not putting a new window in there?
No.
Okay.
It's the same.
And how about the window off to the left of the front door? This one right back here,
It's the same.
same size?
But yes.
So you're really not changing anything on the front of the
And the
house?
front,
the new door, maybe,
The door on,
yeah. So really that's, and then of course down the alley would be something that we would have, you know, concerning, but the windows are basically pretty close to the same size, as long as they meet, those are bedrooms there, as long as they meet the egress point.
Are you on the side of the house where the alley is? Did you change those windows?
Yep.
So
And they
are
are,
these,
and they meet the egress.
okay, but do we need to worry since it's on the alleyway though, changing sizes? Like on the front of the house, do can you, all of these pictures, which one is like the side? All of these or
This one's on the side right
this one's on
here,
the side?
and that one's on, these three here are on the side.
Did you cut, like I'm looking at Google Maps, did you cut down, I know you can't see the trees. Did you cut down these trees to put in the windows or?
yeah, I tear it up, the front, the big tree, tear it up now.
Here again, I'm gonna voice my neighbor opinion. This house is on the other side of my house. And as a neighbor, I'm very happy and pleased with what's going on. I don't see there's any concerns as far as the Historic Preservation Committee we would have any concerns about.
And then he's also putting the siding, like on the back, it has like this cobalt blue.
Well, what is your intentions with the siding? That's an asbestos type siding.
Oh, that he has on his house?
Yeah. Are you putting that back up on the house? Are you re-siding your house?
Put it side,
Yeah,
And what kind of siding are you gonna use?
right here,
over there.
it's on the back.
Okay. So you're taking off, eventually you're gonna take off all that
Yeah.
asbestos siding. And then you also work with the building inspector's office and take it off and apply the removal standards that you have to do for asbestos. I mean, like, you gotta have, you wanna keep it, you know, from a fragile situation. You don't want it to get airborne. My wife would appreciate that, and I would too.
So when you replace the windows, obviously you have removed some of the siding. How did you go about doing that? Did you do as good as, or as you just now, did you take the precautions to make sure it didn't become airborne, or? Because since you've already removed the windows, it's obvious you've already removed some of the siding, so what was your process of doing that?
Here again, that's gonna fall back into the oversight from the building commissioner's office. You know, as they go out and do their inspections, drive-bys or whatever, you'll be able to tell whether or not he's doing it appropriately. And of course, here again, it can only be taken to a landfill that is regulated to accept that type of a product. And I don't know if Walnut Creek, I'm assuming that they are. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We'll come and discuss that.
Yeah, you need to talk with Don. We shouldn't waste much more time on this, to be honest with you.
Yeah. They were very bad deteriorated, it looked like.
Well, they're very fragile. You know, and that was, here again, back in the 20s and the 30s, that was the style siding that was appropriate. But it's got some issues.
The cabin blue is on the historic palette. I looked it up on Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin. So,
Okay.
that is an okay color.
So what are we asking for here?
The windows and the siding.
That is correct. And the window work has been done. It looks like it's really just siding, making sure that the cabot blue, and that is a historic palette on both Benjamin and Sherwin-Williams. So.
I'll make a motion that we accept the windows, the sizing, and the type and colorization of the siding. It's a vinyl siding, correct?
I think it said vinyl.
Vinyl siding?
Yeah, from Menards.
I make that motion.
Okay. has been moved. Do I have a second to accept the scope of work as presented? I'll second it. Any other discussion?
Are you planning on doing anything else to the porch, like the poles, or like painting it, or anything else? Like on the porch? Are you just gonna paint it white again?
Yeah, I did.
That fit mine pretty well.
And the trim will be white, will the trim around the windows be the same?
Yeah, the trim is, yeah, white. The poles, the columns is white.
Trim is white. Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I will say, aye, but with the, understanding that he's not doing anything changing the front, that he's going to adhere to preserving the front of it and using that material.
Got it. Understood. We'll note that. Okay, ayes have it. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, next up, 7 West Clinton Street. This is kind of neat. We have not done this before. It's the installation of a new cluster-style mailbox for the new apartments that Dr. Snyder has put on the 2nd floor of her building.
So I just have a question for putting something on the street, like a mailbox or someone put out benches. Do they have to get extra permission from like the Board of Works or from the city or?
Well, give me a minute, I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Don's baby. This is awesome. Okay, Don, let her have it.
All right, so this has actually been passed or will be passed by the Board of Work this coming Monday.
Okay.
They've had it under discussion. What it is a cluster of mailboxes. It'll take care of all the apartments that Dr. Snyder has in her building, plus the 51 West Event Center. So all the mail will be sent to this. It'll be bolted to the sidewalk. In your picture that you have, my beautiful drawing in pink.
That's
It shows you where it's going to be sitting. It's back off. There's plenty of room through the sidewalk to put that on. Now, the Board of Works asked if it would be bolted to the wall. The answer is no. It'll be bolted to the concrete sidewalk, as that's the way the style of the pedestal mailbox has been. But as I said, the Board of Works they've accepted it with the asking about the bolts to the wall, which is not, and they'll be passing that this coming Monday.
All right. I think it's very attractive. I think it is historic. I think that Dr. Snyder, as always, her attention to detail is impeccable. And any discussion on this particular issue?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I am under the assumption that this does not infringe upon any ADA requirements,
It does not.
and that it does meet, this says USPS access, it does meet their standards.
It does. It's accessible. I think the biggest concern that we had when we went down to take a look at it was I wouldn't say the clutter, but the things that are on the sidewalk with the tree box and the trash cans and the flower containers. Would there be enough room? The answer is yeah, there's plenty of room. But she's gonna put it back as close to the wall as she possibly can there, which will make it accessible for about everybody.
Do you know what the dimensions are? Might need change.
I do not have that. I don't think it's on this paper. I do not.
Is there,
Could be about the same size. It's about the same size.
I'm gonna say the same as what you have in the iron block.
It's about 2 feet, a little over 2 feet wide, and about 5 feet tall, and about 2 feet deep.
who is the owner of this box?
The owner, I'm going to assume would be the Dr. Snyder and the owner of the building.
So that's why she would have to go to Board of Works, because the sidewalks are owned by the city.
She has to go to the Board of Works because the Board of Works oversees everything that's on the sidewalk downtown.
Even alleyways. I'm just asking for a different project, and I'm just trying to understand the process of like the approval for.
They oversee the downtown projects downtown. And, we come to you for your certificate of appropriateness. To make sure that you're okay with it. But the Board of Works, we will assume will be passing this on Monday.
I guess my question would be for this, is that who assumes liability?
Oh, if they came unbolted or something.
No, if somebody's riding a bike down through there and doesn't see it, falls and breaks an arm, who's responsible?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's
why attorneys get paid so
I
much.
guess everybody will be. The lawsuit will be the city of Frankfurt. It'll be Dr. Snyder since it belongs there, so everybody gets a piece. Maybe they'll even grab you guys too, being the historic board.
Hey,
Why not?
we got broad shoulders.
As everybody would be included in a lawsuit if that were to be the case.
So she would be in charge of maintenance?
Yes, she would be.
Or the owner of the property? I mean, if she should ever
Yeah,
sell.
it would go with the property, yes.
Now, on this, it says in a handicap ramp as discussed, is that something that she'll come back about? Is that going on the street or?
That is a handicap ramp that's going to be going, on her retail property there that has all of the advertising signs on there. We've been down to discuss with her. They want to make the entry into this, in this retail store accessible. So they're going to remove this little concrete walkway, and they'll start back there and they'll bring it down where it's on a 3% slope. They're going to be cutting the sidewalk approximately 2.5 feet out to make this slope. The handicap accessory will be from the front, not from the side, but the side has to be so that when somebody's walking, it's not a trip base, but it does not have to be a handicap accessible only from the front side. So it'll only extend about 2 foot out.
So we'll, I guess,
I don't think you guys have a dog in that
I
fight.
understand, that's a battle for another time.
okay, I just,
Okay. About the decorative mailbox. Do I get a motion to approve it as presented?
Full motion to approve.
Wonderful. Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been seconded. Any more discussion?
I think it looks cool.
It is really neat. It's historic. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. That's gonna add a neat little bit of character to downtown.
I think it'll finalize our building. It looks great.
And you
She's-
haven't
she's
seen our
excited.
apartments yet? They're really cool.
They are
And we
neat.
have people come into town, that's where they should stay.
Okay. Moving along quickly, this is a very extensive case. So 406 East Armstrong Street, it really is a complete remodel, exterior and interior. Replaced all the windows, close to similar size, a new roof, new furnace. That's beyond our purview. So really just the exterior would be the windows, and I think the siding was done as well.
Well, I don't think the sign's been done yet.
Not quite done, okay.
No, it's just, he has the sheet on the front, and I think, were there some removals of windows too on the side? Like in this top picture, you can see where there was a window and,
Looks like just a tad bit of space, either taken off or,
you know,
it could just be a fit issue, I can't, it's hard to see.
Just out of curiosity, where is this project?
it's, on
Oh,
Armstrong,
I see that, but the zip code is 46938.
Just north of, Harrison.
Yeah, I know, I'm getting very, sorry to ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's,
46938 is the zip code.
oh, it looks like,
are the Kennedys
Anyway.
here? Okay, no, they are not, okay.
so is anyone here for this house?
No,
Does not
I'm
like
familiar with this house.
I drive past this house, so the homeowner is not here, nothing. So I drive past this house often, and, let's just say work has been done at like nighttime. And when I first saw this house, he was taking out the window in the front, it was 9 o'clock at night. And the windows on the front are significantly shorter than the original windows. And I immediately contacted Ashley when I saw this house being worked on, and she contacted Dawn, and it's been like several months ago, I believe. And I know when I talked to Stephanie, she lives like just right down the corner. He was working on the house at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and as I understand it, he didn't contact you for a while, and he continued working on the house, and I contacted Don again when he started putting up some of the siding.
Is there a stop work order on this?
We did, we put a stop work order, it was made, for some reason, as you well know, when you put one of those red cards up, it makes you call the office. And he
Gets
did,
their attention,
and
yeah.
he has not done any work to the outside of the building since then. He's put some corners up, we saw that, we went down and stopped that, told him not to do any more siding until he got permission. We've actually been trying to get this guy, this business, or this home into here about the last 3 months, because
Yeah,
we knew that when he got ready to side the house, he'd want to get going,
yeah,
and we didn't want to slow him up any, but here we are now, in the process, but that's neither your fault or his fault,
yeah, he
that's
does.
the way it is.
You've had conversations with him, is that correct?
We have had conversations, told him that,
You invited him to come to these meetings?
we invite everybody to come.
That's right, we're a partying group here.
We have, advised him that, you know, as long as he wasn't changing the electricals and the plumbing inside, we didn't have an issue of what was going on the inside. But, because it was an historic landmark, or not, but in a historic district, that you can no longer do any work on the outside until it got its pass through, this organization.
Well, I guess my only concern or my question is, obviously, he has devoted a lot of time and money and resources to it, but yet he's not here.
Right, and as I said,
It's really pretty difficult.
Yeah,
But then, to be honest with you, I'm not in a big hurry to prove this.
right, I would say no right now, because as I said, I'm the one who drove past this, he was changing out the windows at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not gonna stop some guy at 9 o'clock at night and say you can't change out windows. When I drive past it, it's very obvious the windows are at least 5 to 8 inches smaller in height on the front. And as soon as I saw it, I emailed Ashley. I was trying to look at my email, and then she contacted Dawn, and as I understand from talking with Ashley, Dawn had been trying to get a hold of them, and things were being done at nighttime. Like, I drove past and it looked slightly different, and it wasn't until last month, like, I think it was the day before our last HPC meeting, that I saw he was starting to cut the pieces of the siding, and then Dawn went and put the stop work on it. And I can't tell.
Well, the timing, I mean, it seems unusual, but perhaps the person works irregular hours, and this is the only time he has available to do it, is in the evening.
It's not in the evening, it's like, I heard it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
We do have stipulations about making too much noise after hours.
Yeah, that would be the city police department.
I was thinking about that. Are you not up then?
I'm not up to that.
I guess as of right now, without the homeowner being here, I would say nay on this.
I'll just, it seems like formality, because I'm not, I don't have, there's not a picture of the siding, he just wrote down it's gonna be the same kind, but he didn't really give us a sample of what it looks like.
Well, it
He's
has
not
wood
here.
lap siding on it now that's in very bad condition.
He said it's gonna be the same color blue, just that it's gonna be a 4-inch siding, same color.
I want more information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
so I'll put it up there just so we have it on record. Do I have a motion to accept 406 East Armstrong Street as presented? No, we need more information. Don, can you get back with him and make sure? All righty. You may say whatever you wish. Okay. It looks like we have one last add-on here, or two add-ons, excuse me. Let's do 350 Harvard Terrace. It's 350 Harvard Terrace here. All right, sir.
Are you doing the work?
Adding driveway repair, and adding a driveway, repairing the existing garage, and adding a carport. Okay.
So I'm really confused. This is behind my house and I'm just confused by, is the carport going, if you drive down Harvard Terrace, is the carport on the front and the driveway is going out? Like, I guess I'm,
Yeah, do you have a site plan?
yes.
E-site plan or your drawing?
There it is.
Well, yeah, I'm drawing.
You don't have an
I have a
address.
site plan
Site
too.
plan,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the alleyway, so this is what I drive down all the time. So are you doing anything right here in the back?
Here's your alley.
Yep, so this is garages,
This
two-door
is your
garage,
existing garage.
and, yep,
This is your proposed carport.
so that's
With a
going
new-
right here.
Yes, it's going right here. This is your garage.
Right, so
Yes.
is it gonna connect to the garage?
Well, this lean-to right here is sagging and starting to fall, so the lean-to part's gonna be tore off the garage. And we're gonna extend out off of the original structure of the garage and build a carport, 20
Okay,
feet.
so is it gonna be the same stuff that's on the house and same
Yes, it
color?
is. Exact same thing. This addition right here, I built that on there, those are cedar shakes, everything was done in the exact same style. You probably can't even tell, you remember when I did that? I don't know how long you've lived back there.
6 years.
Well, I built that on there before this board existed, and you
Yeah.
can't tell that that was even added to the house.
So,
Good work.
so how much further, like, how big is the lean-to right now and how much?
The lean-to, the existing lean-to is only about 10 feet, and I'm proposing to come out 20 feet with my carport, so that you can actually park the car
Yeah,
beside your car, right here.
So it's gonna have access from the rear is what you're saying.
no, it's gonna be.
There will be an
Okay,
overhead
I
door,
see.
so you will be able to drive from Harvard Terrace to the alley, through the garage, yes. There will be a door on both sides of the garage.
So it'll be like a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's already a 3-car garage.
This is the existing garage,
Yes.
so I'm putting an overhead door.
Yeah, I
Well,
understand.
no,
I get what you're
it's only a 2-car garage because you can't get.
It's a
through.
3-car garage.
It's a 3-car garage.
There, it's a 16-foot door and an 8-foot door.
So my
I guess I
question
always see them
goes,
with 2 cars, so, yeah.
In this plan right here, there's your 16-foot door, there's your 8-foot door.
I just don't think doors any bigger than that, since they're
Yeah.
airplanes.
Yes.
so Josh,
That's a 3-car garage. Yes.
what is, other than just trying to shore up the lean-to, I guess, why is there a desire to create a new driveway on, which is not part of the original platted property line on the
Because
house?
they
And
are,
not use the back of the house?
they
Since they're
are
a
parents
nesting car.
of children and they're starting to have driving age kids, so.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that. So the problem is, there's nowhere, your board member lives back there. There is no driveway behind that garage, as you can see from my site plan. There's only 10 feet. So they need more space to park cars, because you can't park cars on the south side of Harbor Terrace.
You can only park across the street.
You can only park on the
No, you
north.
can park on the south side, not the north
Okay,
side.
I got my direction.
Yeah, so it'd be across the street from them.
Since I live
So-
directly across the street,
Oh, you live on Harvard Terrace?
directly across the street from the Beardsleys, yes.
Yeah.
I have a concern with changing the facade of what was historically established as the front landscape,
Like adding a driveway from
Right.
Harbor
Yeah, that's the
Terrace.
part I have a trouble with,
yes.
the driveway.
I understand the need, because again, I live right across the street, and kids are great, family's great. I just wonder if there isn't a better way to enhance the size of the garage to meet the needs.
Well, I can build the garage deeper, but then it's a
You're
4-car
looking-
garage that you can't move cars around.
You can be like double deck.
Right, yeah,
You
it'd just
can't,
be
like-
double stacking. Like, there's no way to get out of it.
Well, you know, I lived in a historic neighborhood in Fort Wayne and my neighbor behind me did exactly that.
Mhm.
And it can be done.
They do have
And
a
with
back-
a
Well, yeah, I said I can do it.
with just a single driveway that this family used, and it had a double length driveway, or excuse me, double length garage on a single driveway. So,
Well, if you look at the site plan back here, this is the alley, existing
Right,
garage.
right.
You have 10 feet
right,
from the existing garage. And then you have, this is all house. And this
right,
Is there anything in
But
the standard
are they
about
using the
putting
garage?
driveways or anything in the front of houses?
4 cars.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
so,
cars parked in it right now.
okay, but
You've been hit with
they have
people in
2
your
cars.
neighborhood.
So what I'm asking is, can they utilize the
I think it's
space a
all
little
structural
better
issues.
that allows for them to be
This
able
falls
to
under many
maybe
same.
park a 3rd car
No,
and use what you're proposing for storage and not having that driveway access from Hardwood Terrace?
right.
And then that will still give them not only a 3rd space for their garage with
But you,
using
there's
that's
no
already
way to,
existing.
the 2 cars fill the space. You can't get a 3rd car around.
It's a 2-car garage and a single
Just
car
says drive
garage, so
reserve.
it's 3 spaces
Existing.
with 3-car garage.
Yeah,
Driveway.
And they only have 2 cars.
right.
So what I'm asking is there an opportunity if you moved or fixed or redesigned the lean-to that you say needs to be restored, make that the storage space and then have them use the existing garage that is already set for 3 cars, for 3 cars, and not create a driveway from Harvard Terrace, which is an original to the landscape of this historic home.
I would say also they do have a fenced-in backyard that this would be ideal. They could take out part of their backyard and add on to that.
Right, along the corner.
So,
No, there's no space. You can't make this any wider. There's no space here.
I think, it's good input, but I think we have to vote what's before us. It's hard, we can't change on the fly. We have to either vote it up or vote it down as is presented, so.
Right.
Here's your
Right.
drawing, Jeff.
So you really, the driveway's here.
Thank you, sir.
that's, that would be my issue, is the driveway in the front of the house.
I see the the desire for it.
Oh, I get it, yeah.
So let's, I'll call for a motion to accept 350 Harvard Terrace's scope of work as presented.
So moved.
Has been motioned. Do I have a second? I would second that. All in favor, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed?
Or
It does not carry.
I meant to say aye to the not approving it.
I know, we're tied
Okay.
too, so it doesn't carry.
Well, I said aye, I said nay first, and
I got it.
So, 2 days and 2.
It did not pass.
It did not pass.
I'd just like to see, if there is some way that they can meet the needs for the Beardsley's desire for their growing family without having to probably take down trees, because there's several trees that are gonna have to be taken down.
Yeah, one of them's already dead.
Make the
And-
driveway, it happen, and to destroy the facade and the landscape as originally platted on Harvard Terrace for this home. And yes, you did a beautiful job with the addition. Yes, I agree with everything you've done to this house to restore it. But I would just like to see if we can't consider some way along the backside, if there's some way to meet their needs by expanding the garage forward and making it storage so that they can actually use their 3-car garage efficiently. And still have their storage and not have to put a driveway on Harbor Terrace.
If, and this is an if, the garage, the driveway has to stay out front. Is it Beardsley's intentions to have a concrete,
Yes,
or is it gonna be stamped, or is it gonna have some sort of,
concrete driveway, brushed concrete driveway.
so it's just gonna be a typical? Well, I guess what I'm saying is that to keep with the historical look, the feel,
Mhm.
if they would ever consider some sort of decorative concrete. Perhaps maybe just a border edge on it to kind of keep with what would have been done historically. And they could perhaps revive it. I'm just saying,
Well,
It's
sure,
just
we
a what
could,
if
we
thing.
could do a brick
Exposed
stamp,
aggregate.
we could do a brick stamp border.
I'm just,
I mean-
all I'm doing is throwing up ideas here because, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but also saying, what if the Bearsleys say, no, I need a driveway out front?
Right.
Something to enhance instead of just having a stark concrete drive.
We can do whatever you want. I mean.
Well, it's not up to us.
I'm just saying, if you want, if we can do stamped all the way, we can do like a brick stamp on the side.
I'm just
Yes, it
saying,
will be a solid concrete driveway, but we can stamp it, stain it, whatever. But that all comes into budget too.
of course.
Prices
Well, I
start
know,
going up.
here again, I'm using my house as an example. I mean, I've got my sidewalk, my porch,
Right,
it's
yes.
concrete, but it's stamped.
Yes, it's stamped
It's more
and stained,
expensive.
and looks very nice,
Well,
yes.
thank you. My wife did a fine job. But I'm just saying, I'm looking for options.
Right.
If you can't do it the way you're asking, for whatever reason, do they have another option? And perhaps that is an option to give, here again, the appearance of maintaining that historical.
We can,
Okay, that's
But that would have to be brought back, whatever.
what has to be brought back anyway now.
yeah, you rejected me.
Checked.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
I know we did.
Let's move along swiftly.
All right, thank you.
Last but not least, 651 East Boone Street.
Yes.
And I guess that's you guys, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience. A lot of cases tonight, a lot of very involved discussions. So 6-foot privacy fence left as treated wood with no paint, no stain. 6 foot is the height around the back, and then 4 foot in the front of the house beyond the midpoint. Let's see.
Now, I have a question. When people want to put up a fence, do you require that a proper line, like a survey is done to put down a fence, to make sure you're not encroaching?
Ordinance allows them to be up on the property line if they want to do that.
But I mean,
The
how
only
do
thing that
they,
we do is we go out and make sure the holes are 32 inches deep and it gets finished.
I guess, how do the homeowners ensure that it's actually on the property?
It's
It's their responsibility.
They have
It's
to-
off the property line because,
The neighbors.
the neighbor's
Carport.
carport's on some of our property and we told them it's fine.
This one here.
So it's about 6 foot off of our property line.
651 East Boone
Okay.
Street.
So is this fence already built?
No,
Oh, okay.
we were having it built today and we didn't know we were on the historical society, so,
Nobody in the whole neighborhood knew.
no. Yeah, I talked to all my neighbors, they had no clue. So, we got stopped and they were
Something
like, you need
really-
to go to this meeting tonight. And I was like, okay. So hopefully they can come back tomorrow and put it up. If everything goes as planned.
It looks like it meets height requirements.
Well, there's no alley or anything close to it.
There's an alley in the back of my house.
In the back, there's no visual impairment or anything.
No.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, all my neighbors have privacy fences
Well, I'm just wondering, back
down that
there, it
alley.
shows you got the alley in the back. If there's a corner there, you don't have any alleys.
No, there's no corner.
Supposedly, your fence has got to drop down or so you can see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
No.
And
She said it meets easement all the way around for where it's at,
it needs what now? I'm sorry.
easements.
I mean, you can build in an easement, it's yours.
Yeah.
It's your roll the dice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if they come through and have to work on that, whatever, gas line or whatever, they'll just tear it
Yeah,
up. They
it's
don't have to
6
put it back.
Yeah, it's 6 feet off of our property line because the neighbor's carport's on our property line and we told them that it was fine.
But I guess what we're saying, that there's no utility easements there that you're aware of.
No, the
No
contractor,
Overhead, Nothing's overhead, like utility lines going across.
I think it's on the
It's on
alley
the,
side.
it's on the other side. of the
I think
house.
that Don's office,
Yeah, I would assume that they would have found that out.
I think it'd be a good shape location.
Considering what they've been proposed to us, I mean, as long as the height, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
And
it's
what
all
kind of
very-
fence is it? Stockade? What kind of fence?
Treated lumber.
Treated lumber.
I mean, is it dog-eared or is it a little?
I wanna say, it's not pointed, I think it is the dog ear. Did you guys?
Yeah,
pick up
yeah, it is. It is.
So it's like a 1-6?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, this
I
gravel
mean, I don't care.
behind the garage, like, is there a reason why you're not fencing in behind it?
Yeah, my contractor actually drew the picture for me because I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest.
No, you did-
And
you
he
did
put
pretty
it
good
going
job.
back there, but I have a drive-through garage, so I
Oh,
can't have a fence
okay.
right there.
Okay, so you can drive,
Straight through.
Straight
my-
through the
yeah.
garage.
I was wondering what.
Yeah, he put it there and I was like,
gravel
no,
was.
we can't have a fence right there.
That's good that you thought that. Because they may have put it there and
Yeah.
you're like. pulling
Yeah, that
out.
wouldn't have been good.
Okay, that's just what I was wondering what the gravel was and.
That's just
Yeah.
behind the garage, like
Yeah.
our little parking area, cause the
But that
garage
makes
is
sense
pretty
if it's a
far
full
off
room.
the.
Okay. Pretty straightforward, so, I would entertain a motion to accept the fence as presented,
So moved.
has been moved. Do I have a second? Second. Any more discussion for the fence as presented? Hearing none, oh,
Oh, I just have one question. The trees that are in this picture, will it go in front of the trees or behind the
It's gonna go behind the tree.
Right.
Okay.
There's only one tree.
I know, I just saw on the side.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
you're
made
fine.
sure that you.
Oh,
weren't-
yeah, it's gonna cut off before that tree.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? You guys good to go?
My neighbors did have a question. I don't know if I can ask you guys.
Sure.
She wanted to know if, like landscaping is an issue that we have to come talk to you guys about.
Literally, nobody did not know.
Yeah, I
that
was talking to my
they-
neighbors today. None of us knew we were on the historical society. We don't have to.
Landscaping.
Yeah,
Okay,
it'd have to be major tree removal, like huge,
Okay.
big oak trees, but we don't really have a lot of
Nothing
that,
major. Okay, I'll let
and
him
usually-
know.
it's okay as long as we plant one. I mean, it's,
But what about, this is for my curiosity's sake, what about planting trees in between the sidewalk and the street? Like, do we need to, because one day they'll get bigger, do you need?
That's city property.
That's city property, yeah.
So you would have to get state permission.
That wouldn't come for historic preservation. You guys just do retaining the trees that are there or making a significant change to historical planting.
Yeah.
So anything that they wanted to plant new, that's not you. It's more the replacing of a
Well, I'm
diseased
in
plant.
I'm in the historic district, so that's why I was asking who I talked to, but.
Alrighty.
And will I get my building permit the same day?
Not beyond one.
Yeah. Start with Mr. Don.
It's, call before you come get
Is that the
actually.
courthouse, right?
No.
No, we do go do it
Come
here.
here.
Do it here.
Like where you took your drawings.
Yeah.
Call before you come.
You
get-
almost made me go to the courthouse.
That was the last on the docket.
Call before you come.
We are adjourned.
Actually, trying to get it set.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll just do it.